Christian Watson, and you're watching the Washington Times on Instagram. Hey, I am Christian Watson. I'm a Young Voices contributor. I'm a political writer. I'm a podcaster, a budding YouTuber, and above all else, my goal is to change the political dynamic and conversation in our country by injecting a healthy dose of honesty, philosophical wit, and also simply being open to having the hard discussions that many people are not open to doing. We ask ourselves if capitalism is good for the black community. We should actually understand what capitalism is. Capitalism is simply a system of voluntarily trading goods and resources in between people within a certain community, within a certain area, a certain locality, a certain group, whatever you might have it. The key is that it's voluntary and it ultimately benefits the individuals within that transaction by providing value, by providing some sort of actual actionable thing to them so they can be successful on this lit. They can do something with that value. And so in that sense, if you're asking it in the purest sense, the purest form, of course capitalism has been phenomenal for the black community. In fact, I cannot think of a better system that has helped more black individuals, more African Americans, not only lift themselves out of poverty, but escape a poverty mindset which has been afflicted upon them by Jim Crow, which has been afflicted upon them by folks who want to push race endlessly to no end, as if it is the most important feature of anyone's life. Of course, it has been beneficial for black communities. Markets promote equality by doing one thing above anything else, which is incredibly important for us to understand. They promote equality by using a single mechanism without any consideration to anything other than that mechanism to promote fair and free transactions between people, voluntary transactions between people, and that mechanism is profit. They use the mechanism of profit, which is paired with ethics, which is paired with a sense of freedom, which is paired with a sense of voluntary action. They use that to create equality. For example, if let's say the government has banned general trading of a certain good, and I don't have access to that good anymore, and they only want to keep that good for a certain amount of people, well, in the free market, I'm going to be able to go to someone else. I'm going to be able to trade with them. I'm going to be able to liberate my dependency and my reliance on the government. So it goes from it being a parasitic or a parasitic thing to being a symbiotic thing. That is what the free market does for people, especially people of color who have had to deal with things like that in their lives. Recent events with the killing of George Floyd and this move to defund the police and police brutality in general, all this stuff should inform us of one thing above any other thing that you might consider. It should inform us that ultimately we are at a reckoning, we are at a tipping point in which many people who may not otherwise have done it are recognizing the value of freedom to their human being, the value of freedom to their ability to flourish as a human being, the value to freedom to creating circumstances propitious to their advancement as a human being. That is what people are doing, but unfortunately, they're not doing it in a way that is propitious to their advancement as a human being. They are doing it in a way that is propitious to the advancement of political causes. So if I were to leave you with a message, I would say this. Please be careful about where you put your mouth, where you put your money at, where you put your stake behind. Be very careful. Because sometimes you may believe that you're being benevolent, you may believe you're doing good, but in all reality, what you're really doing is you're falling in the trap of a political huckster who has no intentions for you or people you're trying to fight for at all.